Hello everyone, we are Geeks Not Nerds. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Vince.
Vince, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, Cap.
We are going to give each other our Christmas presents on the show.
That's
now.
right.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to show off, we're going to see what we got each other for Christmas, and then we're going to talk a little bit about gift giving.
Indeed.
So that's our Christmas Geeks Not Nerds. Vince, I got you two things. I got you two things, and I'm going to give you one of yours first, and then you can give me mine. How's that?
Cool. I got you one thing.
That's cool.
I got his wife something,
I hope
too,
it's
if
awesome.
that counts.
Yeah, she's not here, so you won't get to see her open her present.
Yeah.
Okay, Vince, here's your first thing.
Apparently. How are we doing this?
You're going to open your present, and then I'm going to open my present, and then you're going to open your other present.
It's a tube.
Yay! Wait, did she actually put that in a tube?
No.
Oh, no.
Let's get into this guy.
Yes, indeed.
This is what we like to call a preview of next week's poster. Hey, it's got my two favorite characters right next to each other.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a Punisher in the thing.
Well, that's
right there.
unusual.
And then there's the Beast of Captain America. That's awesome. Thank you, Cap.
You're welcome.
That's pretty
I
sweet.
thought you'd like that. Do I get to open mine now?
Yes.
Awesome.
I dubbed these Sir Present Opener.
Okay. This
That
is
was
my
fun.
present from Vince. Thanks, Vince. Oh, cool. I got Green Arrow from Smallville. That's awesome. I have never seen this anywhere. Like, I knew of it. You know, I've seen pictures, but I've not found this at stores yet. I mean, ever. They put this out during I think after 6th season because of Justice. Yeah.
I was
And,
almost entirely certain you had it, but it was too good of a deal to pass up. So.
No, I don't. In fact, I don't have any of the Smallville figures, and they've only done 2 lines. Surprisingly, as long as the series has been on, they've only ever done two waves of figures, and they've all been very small.
Well, now you have the only one that matters. So.
Well, no, the Lex figure was good, and they
wasn't aware of the Lex figure.
They did a first season Lex figure. They just did Clark, Lex, and Lana for the first season, and I would have liked to have had that whole line, but I never got around to getting them. And then as the years have gone on, when you find them, they're really expensive because they're rarer to find. But yeah,
and
thanks,
for whatever
Vince.
reason, people like the show. So.
Yeah, right. That's awesome. No, I actually like Justin Hartley quite a bit. He's very cool. Anyway, here's your other present, Vince.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
You got another present. You got 2 presents. I was feeling generous this year. Here you go.
Oh, that's even cooler.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't look nearly as cool in the box than what it actually is.
Sweet.
Oh, it opens up? I didn't even notice that.
See that stuff? And then there's a back cover. And then there's an inside with little pages.
That's so cool. I didn't even open it up long enough to realize that it was the whole comic. That's even cooler than I thought it was. Yeah, that's brand new from the Hallmark line this year.
Sweet.
I just about blew a gasket when I found that. I was like, Vince has to have that. I'd already bought your poster, but I was like, Vince has to have that.
That is so cool. Thank you, Cap.
You're welcome, man. I knew you'd like it. Well, now that we've given each other our presents, let's talk a little bit about what makes for good gift giving. Now, obviously, Vince and I both know each other pretty well, and so we both, every year, get each other things that we end up really liking quite a bit. Well done, Vince.
Well done, Cap.
So, Vince, what do you think makes for good gift giving? What should you keep in mind when you're buying something for another person?
I think you need to keep in mind a certain amount of expectation of like price range, maybe, because I think when you're starting buying presents for people, you have you may make them feel inadequate, or you may make them feel cheated. If that makes sense, I don't know. Because I've given presents to people, and they will get really oh, he spent a lot of money on this. Like, no, really, I didn't. Oh, yes, he did. No, I didn't. Don't feel bad. So,
but let me ask you then: why should you feel bad if someone likes you enough to spend extra cash on you if they have it? Why is that bad?
I'm just saying, know the people you're going to give a present to at least well enough to get them something that they can. There has to be a function to it, in my opinion.
Okay.
Now let's talk about the little item here. Now that I went on my spiel about you know the people you're giving stuff to.
Right.
But I think there should be a function to it, whether it meshes well with their personality and their likes and dislikes, or if it's something that they can use.
Okay.
So
that's usually a pretty safe gift, right?
Yeah.
Is to buy somebody something that's functional, it's practical.
I mean, if they already have a blender, you might not want to give them another blender.
That's what's difficult for me with practical presents, because a lot of times I just don't know what the person already has. And what do you think it's a good idea? Because again, this a lot of times is about just knowing the person really well. Like, do you think it's a good idea if you're doing practical things, if you can't think of something they just don't have, to get them something that's better than the one they have?
Now, if what they have is like breaking down, I could imagine they'd want another one.
Mm-hmm.
Or if something just ineffective. If you hear them say, "My toaster sucks,"
I sure wish I had a better toaster.
"My toaster is a piece of trash. It only makes the toast light brown. I want dark toast." And you're like, "Well, I'm going to go get a Black & Decker toaster for this guy. Here you go. This is going to make your toast black and Decker."
Have you ever gotten a gift from someone where you said, well, I wouldn't say this because that would make you a jerk, but have you ever gotten a present from someone where you've taken one look at it and you've thought in the back of your mind, you know, the person who bought this probably would really enjoy to have this?
Maybe.
I think people do this, where they don't know the person well enough, or they're not good enough at getting outside of their own head, where they just buy things for people that they would like.
Mm-hmm. I heard somebody say that to me the other day. Just get something that you would like and give it to them. And I'm like, whoa, why would I do that? I'm not going to give a Muppets fan a Punisher comic book. I'm not going to do that.
In fact, of all the people I can think of who I would give gifts to, you're the only one I could give a Punisher thing to at all. Mm-hmm. And in fact, there aren't very many people I could even give comic books and action figures and things like of that sort. I learned this the hard way. Over the years, I've gotten better and better at this, but I get so focused on my niche, and what we do is so integrated into pop culture that I'm always thinking pop culture. So when I'm thinking of buying gifts for people, it's really hard for me not to immediately go to media. It's really hard for me not to think, does this person play video games? Does this person like DVDs? Does this person read books? And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but if I'm going to go media, I've got to be really careful to make sure that it's something that they like, and not just something that I assume everybody should like. Because I think it's easy to think you're being thoughtful, and then it turns out that you're not.
Mm. You know, I do this particular thing. I'm going to go off on a little bit, but I'll bring it back. I'll collect a particular type of comic book. I got my Punisher, my Question, my Shadow, my Spider-Girl, interestingly enough. And so I'll collect these things. But I also collect these outside ones, like major significant markers in comic book history. So I have Batman Year One, I have Secret Wars, and things of that effect. And Cap's present to me last year was almost said Batman, Death of Superman.
Oh right, yeah, in trade, right?
Yeah. So it wasn't so much like it fit one of those particular collections, but it fit the I need those milestones. Mm-hmm. So he took into consideration what I want. And, I mean, of course, there's always the Christmas list thing that goes on. I mean, what I did for my dad was he has a master list of movies that he wants or needs, we're going to call it, because I need my comic books.
Can I interject real fast? Just because you're about to get into another topic, and I want to stay where you were for just a second. I do think that, and this requires finesse, but I do think that when you can, it's a good idea, if you're able to give a person something that they would like, but that reflects the giver also.
You know, my brother said something to me that effect the other day. We were looking for. My mother collects.
It should make sense coming from you. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, you have to be careful about what you buy certain people. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make sense. This is going to be an odd example, but only certain people in a woman's life would be allowed to give a woman a dress. It just wouldn't make sense for certain people to give a woman a dress.
And her little brother gives her lingerie. Here you go.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's just that would be an inappropriate gift. You know what I mean? I mean, it might be something that she would like, but it doesn't reflect the giver. It doesn't make any sense for the giver. So with the example you gave from last year, Death of Superman is one of my absolute favorite things. But if you only collected those certain things that you collect, I wouldn't have given you that. Mm-hmm. But I just happen to know that you also are going for milestones, and it seemed like if you want to know comic book history really well, whether or not you like that, it's something you really ought to read probably if you care about DC and Marvel history. So that's the only reason I mentioned that.
And we got a podcast out of it, too.
We did. We got a whole podcast.
I don't think it was supposed to be about that, but we did.
It ended up being nearly a half-hour review of Death of Superman, and that was not the topic for the week.
My brother, he and I were looking for stuff for my mom. And I went the media route. I went with things that I knew she wanted. And she also collects, like, snowman figurines, and she thinks they're cute and adorable and hoo-ha and whatnot. So we're going through and we're looking at all these little collectible stuff. And I found these 2 mugs, and I'd already got the stuff for my mother, but I went, Victor could get these for her. And come to think of it, he did. And I know she's not going to watch this, so I'm entirely okay with saying this. So my brother saw the mugs, and he said, but that's not a gift that I would give. That's a gift that you would give.
Oh.
And I said, what's that matter?
If she likes it, she likes it.
She's going to like it. But to some extent, I understand. There was a personalization. And maybe a gift that you would give is sort of a representation of the relationship that you would have with the receiving, or with the person who receives the gift.
Yeah, absolutely.
Receiving party, that's what I was going to say.
Real quick, we're almost out of time. How do you, if you ever buy something for someone for a collection, how do you make sure that they don't already have it?
Guessing. Pretty good. See, what I do for Cap is I'll go into his place and I'll be like, man, your stuff is really cool. It is really neat. I'm going to take a look around at the neat stuff.
You're gonna have to dig now because we've opened most of our figures.
Yeah, I've noticed that. But, like for my dad, he has a master list, so there's no questioning of what it is. And you can call people who know them. I called my mother and said, does he have this book? No?
Yeah, it really helps if people are either, if you're buying for a person who's either living with their parents or is married. Because, you could always call my wife and find out what I have. I get freaked out sometimes trying to buy for people's collections just because I don't want them to have that experience of opening the present and trying to pretend like they don't already have it. Because most people are going to be nice enough to open the thing and pretend and not say, oh, I have that already. Most people aren't going to do that. And I have had that experience so many times. Like, I have had to figure out how to fake this. Because it does happen. Usually at least once a year I'll get a gift where it turns out to be something I already have. And I'll just have to figure out something to do with it. You know what I mean? Because if you have a big collection, you have to expect that, and you can't be mean about it because it's not fair. You know what I mean? It's the old adage, "Did the thought that counts?" It is. It's the thought that counts. And the fact that they bought something you already have means they know what you like. And that's how I tend to look at it.
That makes sense. Maybe they saw it in your place and thought, wow, that's really neat. And then they ran across by it. It was like, wow, I've seen that somewhere before. That's really neat.
I bet Captain Logan would like that. Finally, let me ask you this question, Vince. Do you buy, do you ever buy people things straight off of their list? Or do you...
Oh, yeah.
I seem to, for some reason, I like to surprise people, and I seem to use lists to know what to avoid, which is like totally unfair. Like people, people put things on a list that they want, and like I'll just look at it and I'll be like, no, they're expecting that, and like in the back of my mind, I can't do it.
Well, for me, sometimes
not always, but often. Anyway,
for my dad, he has a master list, as I said, of movies that he collects, westerns and war things, and. He has ones that he knows are really hard to find, therefore he doesn't expect me to find these things. But he hasn't found the wonderful world of Amazon. And by the by, I found The Agony and the Ecstasy on Amazon.
You couldn't find the wonderful world of Amazon on Amazon?
And it was $5.99 on Amazon. I thought, wow, that's a really good deal. And then I found it at Hastings for $5.99. No shipping. It's at Hastings. There was 6 copies of it sitting right there. Well, not right there. It's more like at Hastings, or wherever Hastings is in relation.
But on the plus side, it was cheap and you bought it for him.
Yeah. I got free shipping because I ordered over $25, but still, that's annoying.
Well, anyway, Thanks a lot for watching us open presents and talk about gift giving. And feel free to leave us a comment and tell us what you got for Christmas, if you got any really cool stuff for your collection or otherwise. And we'll see you next time on Geeks Not Nerds. Oh, and also let me mention, as always, to check out Pop Culture Comics if you're ever in the Kansas City area on 87th Street in Overland Park. And I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Vince, reminding you to support your local comic book store, where you can buy comic books, things like that.
We'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.
Excuse me while I catch up on my reading.